Phil Spencer just gave the most ballsy interview that I think he's ever done. And I feel like he's answered a lot of questions that a lot of people have about him. From maybe him being a little too nice to the competition, to what are they going to do about being able to pull games off of PlayStation while being able to have more players. They definitely have an emphasis on player count lately, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, this is something that's going to continue to serve them well. Because that's their metric. That's the metric that they use with their investors. The more players you have, the more actively your player base is going to be, and obviously more, people are going to be more roundabout to using your products and services, Game Pass and things like that, which is what the Activision buyout was all about. Now, when it comes down to how Phil Spencer is perceived as, a too nice guy and things like that. This was a very interesting bit of news, and I'm going to relay this because the way that it's put out is from somebody who interviewed Phil Spencer for his site, but this is stuff that was kind of left out, and he's giving a big long thread on this stuff on Twitter, which I'm going to link, and I'm going to cover this as much as I possibly can because I felt like this was just an inside look at Phil that we've never really had before. And so, yeah, I'm very interested in everybody's take on this. I am excited to do this. I read this and I was like, damn, where's this guy been at for, you know what I mean? This is what we've been asking for from Phil, in my opinion. So it should be a good video. Hey there everyone, I'm the Crap Gamer, and of course this is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home of gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but that shouldn't stop you from giving us a like, and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the world. I know you're all so busy with family, friends, kids, work, school, all that kind of stuff, so it means the world that you guys come out here and check out my videos. Hit that like button, that's all I ask, and make sure if you are subscribed to hit the bell and click on get notified for everything. Otherwise, you probably won't get notifications, and that would be a shame. Now, going into what Phil Spencer is doing right here, he was interviewing with a person named Stephen Totillo, and I hope that I pronounced that correctly. Now, with this being said, he did a interview with this Axios, and it was a very interesting interview, and this is what Stephen Totillo had to say about that. He said, something that stood out to me when I recently interviewed Phil Spencer was his emphasis on rising player counts, which I think is key to understanding Microsoft's strategy. I want to share where that conversation went, and it's going to be a bunch of tweets. He says, you might say, of course, game companies always boast about this stuff. But this metric seems key to Microsoft, which recently shared that Halo Infinite reached 20 million players, Forza Horizon 5 reached 18 million players. Remember, that was helped with mixes of Game Pass and free-to-play. Spencer said to him, I love the Forza 5 and Halo stats. I love how many people played Psychonauts 2 versus Psychonauts 1. So when I look at the teams, when Todd and I talk about Starfield, it's, hey, how do we make sure that this is the most played Todd Howard game ever? Bear in mind that Todd's team made Skyrim. He continued, as a platform, I think we have a lot to do with that. Quality of the title is number one, no doubt about it. But that will be success for me for the individual game. Can we really make these games? Can we allow them to reach more players than they've ever seen before? And I say that because I believe in the social impact of interactive entertainment. Since we are talking in the wake of the Microsoft buying Activision announcements, I wondered, meaning make Call of Duty, the World of Warcraft even more popular? Like, how is that possible? Spencer, yeah, I want more people to be playing World of Warcraft in 5 years than are playing today. I want more people to be playing Call of Duty in 5 years. More people to be playing Candy Crush in 5 years because we've made it more accessible to more people. I know many of you are thinking, aside from Steven, why didn't you put this in the exciting Axios newsletter, which you can subscribe to? How can Todd's next game reach more people if you're skipping a key platform? I asked him this. I asked about whether Microsoft's policies in general could really be as generous as he makes them sound, because there are catches, no? Well, the specific question of, hey, there's only one place that I want to play games, and if that doesn't end up the one place that I want to play those games has its own business requirements for me as a creator, those people can go play those games. They're just going to say, I'm choosing not to because it's not on that one device that has this specific, trails off. So I get that. Now, stepping back, he asked Spencer about his rep among gamers as head of Xbox. To some, he seems to be too nice, too complimentary of competitors, and too generous with deals like Xbox Game Pass, and surely the other shoe will drop. And he says, you're looking for the evil Phil, according to him, like in a joking manner. He says, I see people tweeting at me, hey, there's nothing altruistic about Phil Spencer, head of Xbox. I don't know if I'd say there's nothing. I have a vision about the role that video games can play, and I am in charge of running a business inside of a publicly traded company. What I think we've been able to do, and this is from one perspective, is we built a strategy that I think is supportive of players and creatives. He notes competitors won't love all that they do and says he'll play hardball when ended. He said he did for Minecraft crossplay. We were going to be forceful in that conversation, understanding that in previous generations we had been on the other side. I wasn't making those calls, but still, if you're looking at Xbox, you say, hey, what's different? Hey, that is different. I think people who point out that it's just a suit or somebody running a business, I'm absolutely running a business. My responsibility, the team's, is I'm going to continue to run a good business so this company continues to support us. I think that's a primary responsibility. Circling back to criticism and skepticism of Xbox's plans, I feel like I can't prove this negative. People ask, when is the Game Pass price going to go up? They're buying all these studios. You know it's inevitable, even though it's been, 4 years and it hasn't raised. So that's something that he's talking about in a very big way. Phil even continues on. He says it's like, it's coming. When they are number one, they're definitely going to start these exclusive deals that, Xbox has a history of. And all I can do is make the decisions that are in front of us and try to be explicit about whatever goals are. And then Steven says, folks, if you did a double take when he said they won't do exclusive deals, me too, but we already went down this road higher in the thread. Back to Spencer. I honestly mean, you can see it with Forza and Halo in the last releases. These are the most played games in those franchises ever because we made them available on more screens than we ever have, through more business models than we've ever made them available. And there you go, one extra regarding Blizzard. You and I grew up at a time when Blizzard was almost as synonymous as Pixar in terms of quality. That's where I aspire. Those brands to go and get to be where the opportunity to work on creative teams to make that possible. So, again, this was kind of some excerpts from an interview that he did, and I actually read some of the interview where it's called What Makes Phil Spencer Tick. But the things that most importantly here, right, because people question, well, how are you going to get more people to play Starfield than have played Skyrim? Right, so 30 million copies of Skyrim have sold over a decade on all kinds of platforms and devices. Well, the main thing that I would bring up, and I'm not a Game Pass aficionado or fan per se, but they already have 25 plus million Game Pass subscribers right there, right? So, I mean, that's probably one way, and then you're going to have people that are going to probably go out and buy the game and things like that. You might look and go, oh, well, isn't this their big, cloud pitch? I don't think cloud is going to get them where they want to go. How is cloud going to help Candy Crush reach 5 million more people? It's not. I mean, it's a phone game that's free to play or whatever, so the amount of people that are going to do it, but I guess you can just build it up and do something with it. But to see that Phil says, hey, we're not opposed to playing hardball, people think that I'm too nice, but I will play hardball when it has to. And yes, it's a business. We have to go out there and do what we can to keep business rolling and to keep ourselves kind of doing what we're doing. And I love that about this interview because it really is just a visceral type of interview that you don't expect from Phil Spencer. And I think that it's really something that a lot of people are going to be finding very surprising because he's very upfront in talking about this. And I brought this up, right? For him, and I said this is why they bought Activision. It wasn't for Call of Duty specifically. It's because of a lot of the mobile stuff. You have 350 million people signed up to Call of Duty. And I know I said it's not about Call of Duty and bringing up Call of Duty, but Call of Duty in general has the mobile one has 350 million people on it. Candy Crush has millions of people on it. These games have millions and millions of monthly active users, and that's what Phil's after, more so than anything else. So it makes the most sense for them to do this, and this is exactly why things are kind of happening the way that they are. And I know people hate to see it, and people hate to kind of hear me kind of talk about this over and over again, but this is exactly why Phil Spencer has kind of changed things around and why people look at Microsoft differently. This is one of the things that people will kind of look back on and go, oh, well, this really kind of changed the game for video games. This changed how people perceive the Xbox. This changed how people perceive all of this stuff. Times are changing. Video games are changing. The fact that everybody just looks at Phil Spencer as this altruistic nice guy, and he's a businessman, and he's admitting that and saying, hey, we'll play hard when we have to. If you want to play with Xbox and if you want to, get in line with Microsoft, then you better like do things how we want to do things. And that's kind of an ultimatum, in my opinion, towards some of these other companies. And that's something that you definitely need, and they needed to say for a lot of people to understand where they're coming from. So I love hearing that. It's great to see it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to link this in the description. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Crap Gamer out.